guys, Courtney here. So I'm really excited to share with you a couple things in my manual that I kind of wrote this as a workbook. And for me, it's kind of instrumental to pen to paper. I find it triggers my memory to write things down. I do try and go back and be, digital and jump into this modern age and, use my smartphone to its fullest extent of its capacity by using my calendar and integrating that with different softwares that I found. But by no means am I the expert on that. You're not gonna find any digital tricks or anything in these videos. You're really just gonna find me chit-chatting with you about what's helped me. And what helps me is putting pen to paper. One of the biggest things too in this business is you're going to have times where, you don't get a yes. You're gonna get lots of no's. In fact, we say it takes 7 no's to get a yes from any one person. But it's really important to remember why. Why did you start this business? Why do you keep pushing forward? What is your motivation? Why are you doing this? What is your why? If your why doesn't make you cry, then it is not strong enough, guys. And I could share with you my why all day long, but then I'd be a crying mess and I couldn't keep going with this video. So I'm not gonna share with you my personal why. My personal why shouldn't matter to you. It's your why. What are you doing this business for? So get out a pen and paper and jot down what is your why. And then it's very important for your why to make you cry. It needs to be that strong. It needs to be something that pulls you down and recenters you anytime you run into an objection, anytime you run into a no, anytime you have somebody who's not supporting you or who gives you a little bit of shade. Guys, we all get it. I heard from one of our top leaders in my company, if you don't have a hater yet, then you haven't made it. If you have a hater, then you have had some form of success. So it's gonna happen, guys. It's natural. You have to have a why that is so strong that you just don't take it personally and you can overcome those objections and those haters. So one of the exercises that we do is not only do you identify what is your why, but then you're going to ask yourself, why is that my why? 7 times. For some reason, there's a magic in 7. 7 is the magic number here. I guarantee you will get to the deeper meaning of your why if you ask, what is your why 7 times? So for example, you can say, well, my why is my kids. Well, why is your why your kids? Well, because, I want my kids to have the childhood that I didn't have. Well, why do you want your kids to have the childhood that you didn't have? Well, because when I was growing up, my parents got divorced. I guess I'm telling you my why. When I was growing up, my parents got divorced and, it was very hard to grow up in a 2-parent household and bounce around. Well, why do you not want that for your children? Well, I felt like, it's caused me a disconnect in my growth period. I felt like, now with the holidays, my kids have to bounce back and forth between grandparents and between households, and that's just not the picture perfect lifestyle that I wanted. And, I really want, my husband and I to have that strong connection because I never want my children to go through that. Well, why is that important? Well, the reason that my parents got divorced, a big reason was money. They just never seemed to have enough and neither one was doing what the other one wanted them to do to provide for their family. Well, why is that important to you? Well, that's important to me because, I had an engineering career and I chose to step away from that career so that I could be the mom that I wanted to be, so that I could be the stay-at-home mom that I never had. My mom had to work. She was always late picking me up. She was always, missing things. We didn't do a lot of after-school activities because her work wouldn't allow her to, to take us to those activities and give us that time to do that. Well, why is that important? Well, I want my kids to have experiences that I didn't have. I want to provide so that my husband can work outside of the home and do a career that he's fulfilling, but that I can be there for my children. I mean, you just have to keep going. I mean, I'm rambling, but that's how my thoughts are with this. If your why is that deep, it brings up deep-rooted emotional, deep-rooted emotions, deep-rooted feelings that maybe you haven't even identified with. But what it does is it strengthens your resolve. It strengthens your ability to say, you don't write my paychecks. You don't know why I'm doing this. I'm doing this for my family. I'm doing this for my marriage. I'm doing this for my children. And I'm doing it because I want them to lead a lifestyle that I didn't have. And I can't get that time back, but I can learn from those mistakes or, learn from my parents And I can provide different answers for my children. I can provide different opportunities and different experiences for my children. And I can create a different lifestyle going forward than what I've experienced in the past. And that's my why. You know, my why is ultimately that I want to be a 2-income household with one parent at home and one parent in the workforce. And we can both climb the corporate ladder. We can both, you know, beat on that glass ceiling and shatter that glass ceiling while we're pursuing our dreams and while we're providing time freedom and, you know, ultimate support for our children. So I hope you guys find your why. I hope you found that a little bit helpful. But, you know, ultimately you need to write it down and you need to go deeper and you need to go deeper and you need to dive deeper and you need to keep asking yourself why until you're literally in tears and you just know, I have to do this. Nobody's going to stop me. My resolve is so strong. My why is so strong. I'm going to make this happen for myself and for my family, or whatever your why is. Have a great day, guys. Be great.